Good evening. You are watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. With an investment of 140 million Omani riyals, the foundation stone is laid for Flex Pharmaceutical Complex at Salalah Free Zone. Labor Market and Employment Laboratory Tanfeed discusses the development of manpower in the fields of industry, logistics and tourism. The Muscat International Book Fair ends its cultural days amid various programs and activities. And 23.5 billion Omani riyals is the total amount of loans and finance of banks, with an increase exceeding 6%. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. A ceremony was held in Salalah Free Zone for laying the foundation stone for Flex Complex for pharmaceutical industries with an investment of 140 million Omani riyals. The complex will produce more than 100 categories of medicines. The first stage of the project will include a building of pharmaceutical factory in an area of 10,000 square meters with a production capacity for tablets and capsules, along with logistics services center. The project will be implemented on 3 stages, targeting more than 20 international markets, and will be completed in 2021. It will include a center for research and development as well as international laboratories, besides providing job opportunities for more than 300 citizens. The ceremony was presided over by His Excellency Ahmed bin Nasser al-Mahrazi, Minister of Tourism, Chairman of the Board of Directors of Salalah Free Zone Company. The development of manpower in the industrial, logistics and tourism sectors and integration of roles among sectors and ministries were the center of discussion at the meeting of Supervision Committee for Labor Market and Employment Laboratory in its first meeting of the year. The meeting reviewed the indicators for 2018 and implementation mechanism for upcoming agreed work stages. It was also agreed during the meeting to develop work mechanisms of technical committees concerned with the follow-up of job opportunities resulted from targeted sectors initiatives in the National Program for Economic Diversification Tanfeed. The meeting was chaired by His Excellency Sheikh Abdullah bin Nasser al-Bakri, Minister of Manpower. Ministry of Manpower affirmed that the coming 3 months will focus on providing job opportunities for job seekers, namely holders of higher diploma degrees and above, within the program of providing 25,000 job opportunities for Omani. The ministry stated that the second stage of the program will be launched tomorrow, adding that the accomplishing percentage of the program reached 54% until the end of February, employing more than 13,000 job seekers. The ministry pointed out that it has an agreement with the heads of 8 sectors in charge of employing national manpower to focus on the employing graduates of universities and colleges. The total amount of loans and finance at the Sultanate's commercial banks increased by 6.4% by the end of last year to reach 23.55 billion Omani riyals. The National Center for Statistics and Information mentioned that the local commercial banks' liquidity increased by 4.2% last year, recording 16.68 billion Omani riyals. According to the center, the total value of private sector deposits in the commercial banks and Islamic banking windows reached around 14 billion Omani riyals, increasing by 5%. The center also added that the total amount of foreign assets at Central Bank of Oman declined by 20%, reaching 6 billion Omani riyals. The activities of Muscat International Book Fair in its 23rd edition will end this evening at Oman Conference and Convention Center. The book fair includes this year a number of novels by many writers such as Najib Mahfouz, Taha Hussein and others. Many readers were keen to buy some of these novels. Horror literature also has attracted a great number of readers recently. This type of literature in the Arab world was led by novelist Ahmed Tawfiq. In general, novels have their fans among readers in the Sultanate. Now for some international news. Brazilian Foreign Minister Aloysio Nunes visited Al-Aqsa Mosque compound in Jerusalem today. Nunes, together with a delegation, was welcomed by officials at the entrance of the compound, revered as the third holiest place in Islam. The old city hilltop compound is believed to be the site where the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, ascended to heaven. Jews venerate the compound as the site of their biblical temples, and one of its outer walls, known as the Western Wall, is the holiest site in Judaism. Earlier this week, Nunes held meetings with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas. A storm pounded the east coast of the U.S. with hurricane-force winds and sideways rain and snow, flooding streets, grounding flights, stopping trains, and leaving 1.6 million customers without power from North Carolina to Maine. At least 5 people were killed by falling trees or branches. The storm submerged cars and toppled tractor trailers, sent waves higher than a 2-story house crashing into the Massachusetts coast, forced schools and businesses to close early, and caused a rough ride for passengers aboard a flight that landed at Dulles Airport outside Washington. Buffalo in the upstate in New York had received more than 8 inches of snow. Still to come in our news bulletin. Many foreign tourists are visiting the Nizwa Fort to see its grandeur and majestic features. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. A number of wilayats in the Sultanate witnessed during last days various intensity rainfall. Meteorological stations affiliated to Public Authority for Civil Aviation record various quantities of rainfall during the period from Friday morning until today morning. Siq Meteorological Station in the Niyaba of Jabal Al-Akhdar recorded the highest rate of rainfall by 21 millimeters, followed by Iski Station by 16 millimeters, and then Al Mudaybi Station by 8 millimeters, and finally Dima wa Ta'im by 5 millimeters. A ceremony was held in the Wilaya of Sur in the Governorate of South Sharqiya for the launch of Chemical Analysis Unit, a Food and Water Laboratory. The unit was founded by Oman Liquefied Natural Gas. It consists of 5 advanced appliances for monitoring water, and they are used to assess the acidity and alkalinity of water as per standard. The activities of club competition for youth creativity in its 5th round were concluded in the Wilaya of Sohar. The event was organized by the Ministry of Sports Affairs. Around 1,000 male and female youths took part in the competition, representing clubs of the Governorate of North Al-Batana. It aims to develop youth and work and develop the capabilities of talented youth in the scientific, cultural, and sports field. Camel racing competition was organized at Al-Batha racetrack in the Wilaya of Mudaybi in the Governorate of North Sharqiya. The event was organized under the auspices of His Highness Sayyid Nader bin Mohammed Al Saeed. It came to preserve this traditional sport and encourage and support camel owners in the wilaya. More than 400 participants took part in the competition. Tourists from different parts of the world flock in large numbers to Nezwa Fort to enjoy the Omani heritage and culture at this national monument. Our reporter Saleh bin Khalfan al-Rahbi has more details in the following report.
Nezwa Fort is witnessing an active touristic season at this time of the year. With its magnificent splendor, this fort, known as a Shahba, offers glimpses of Oman's ancient civilization to its visitors who come from different parts of the world.
I love the way just the feel of the fort and the colors and how they're so integrated, and it's very much like Oman itself. I would recommend them because I think it sort of typifies what the history of Oman is like, and Nizwa in particular, and so therefore, and I would recommend coming to Oman in general, and if they come to Oman, I would say they should come here too.
Recently, a private company is operating the fort under the supervision of the Ministry of Tourism to provide visitors with a vivid example of the many details of the day-to-day life that Omanis lived through the bygone eras.
It's very special for us as we are coming from a very different country, but this is much different. We like this very much because it has kept his original form. It's what it is and what it has been. So it's very nice.
Traditional arts are present in the premises of the fort to attract many visitors, showing them some aspects of the Omani culture.
It was good discovery. I wasn't at all familiar with it. So I was impressed both by the history, the renovation, I think the pride in the building, and also it gives me a feeling of the history, and the people themselves are very nice.
The number of visitors to Nezwa Fort is increasing year after another. These tourists come to enjoy the magnificent details of this great monument. Every stone, pillar and corner of this marvelous monument echoes a story to its visitors. Nezwa Fort is indeed a standing evidence of the deep-rooted Omani heritage and culture. For the Sultanate of Oman Television English News, Saleh bin Khalfan al-Rahbi, الداخلية, Governorate.
Now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Clear skies will prevail over the Sultanate with chances of low clouds and fog late at night over the governorates of Al-Dhahra and Buraymi. Winds will be northerly to northwesterly, light to moderate. Seas will be moderate to rough with a maximum wave height of 2.5 meters. the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's news bulletin, here are the main points once again. With an investment of 140 million Omani riyals, the foundation stone is laid for Flex Pharmaceutical Complex at Salalah Free Zone. Labor Market and Employment Laboratory Tanfid discusses the development of manpower in the fields of industry, logistics, and tourism. The Muscat International Book Fair ends its cultural days amid various programs and activities. And 23.5 billion Omani riyals is the total amount of loans and finance of banks, with an increase exceeding 6%. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, thank you for watching and good night.